Imagine this, a billionaire in a perfectly tailored suit, walking through the quiet halls of a small-town nursing home. Cameras flash as he signs a $1 million donation check. But just as he turns to leave, a fragile, trembling voice from behind whispers his childhood name, a name no one in his corporate world even knows anymore. Eli, baby. The pen slips from his hand. Time freezes. Because only one woman ever called him that, the woman who raised him when no one else would, his black adoptive mother, Ruth Johnson, the woman he lost 30 years ago. Hey everyone, before we dive deep into this emotional true-to-life story, hit that like button, subscribe, and stay with me till the end, because the twist waiting at the end will remind you what real love looks like. Now, let's go back 3 decades. Eli Thompson was just 6 when his biological parents abandoned him. He wandered the cold streets until Ruth, a nurse who worked double shifts just to afford rent, found him crying behind a grocery store. She didn't have much, but she took him in anyway. Ruth was warmth in human form. She made pancakes shaped like hearts, sang gospel while washing dishes, and told Eli every night, "You ain't gotta be rich to be loved, baby, just good." But life isn't fair to kind souls. When Ruth's health started to fail, she couldn't keep up with work. Bills piled up, eviction notices came, and a caseworker took Eli away. He was placed in the system, bounced from one foster home to another. And one day, he was just gone. Ruth never stopped looking for him, but records got lost, and years turned to decades. Meanwhile, Eli grew up. He studied hard, driven by the memory of Ruth's voice pushing him forward. Be good, baby. He worked through college, started a small tech company, and by his 30s, became one of the youngest millionaires in Silicon Valley. On magazine covers, he was Eli Thompson, the self-made genius. But inside, he always felt empty, like a chapter of his life had gone missing. Fast forward to the present day. Eli was standing inside Golden Years Nursing Home, a small, struggling facility on the outskirts of town. He came to make a charitable donation, another PR move, his assistant said. He smiled for the cameras, shook hands with the director, and then started walking down the hallway, where a faint melody floated through the air. It was an old gospel hymn, the same one Ruth used to hum. He froze. His heart began to pound. Following the sound, he stepped into a dim room, where an elderly woman sat in a wheelchair, her silver hair tied back, eyes dim but familiar. She looked up slowly. Eli, is that you, baby? For a second, he thought he was dreaming. But then she smiled, that same soft, motherly smile that had carried him through every nightmare of his childhood. He dropped to his knees. Mom, it's me. It's Eli. Tears streamed down her cheeks as she touched his face with shaking hands. They told me you got adopted by someone else. I prayed every night, every single night, baby. He hugged her, sobbing like the lost child he once was. I looked for you too. But they said you moved, that you passed away. I never stopped thinking about you. Turns out, Ruth had lived a quiet, forgotten life. After losing her home, she volunteered at shelters, helping kids like Eli. Eventually, her health worsened, and she ended up in this nursing home. No family, no visitors, her name forgotten in the system. Eli stayed by her side for hours, ignoring the flashing cameras outside. He canceled his flight, canceled meetings. For the first time, nothing else mattered. He transferred her to a private facility that night, hired the best doctors, and made sure she got everything she deserved. But Ruth didn't want luxury. She wanted time with her boy. Promise me one thing, she told him softly one evening, holding his hand. Don't just throw money at the world. Touch it, feel it, love it. 'Cause people remember kindness more than they remember gold. Months passed. Ruth's health began to decline again, but she died peacefully in Eli's arms, whispering, "You made me proud, baby." At her funeral, Eli didn't wear his $1 million suit. He wore a simple shirt Ruth once mended for him as a boy, the stitches still visible on the sleeve. He built a foundation in her name, the Ruth Johnson Home, dedicated to finding and reuniting lost foster children with their families. And every year, he visits the place where it all started, that small nursing home, not as a millionaire, but as Ruth's son. So, if you ever think your past doesn't matter, remember this story. Because sometimes, the people who love you the most aren't the ones who share your blood, they're the ones who choose you when no one else will. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, because somewhere out there, someone's waiting to hear that love never truly gets lost. It just finds its way home.